Hey and welcome to Mini Gokin Reviews. From the H Doujinshi Succubus Queen vs. Wimpy Goblins comes the second act's hentai action Lisabeth the Succubus Queen. If you've never read the Doujinshi, you might be surprised that our Succubus Queen loses the fucking fight against such wimpy goblins. And yes, fucking as a verb. You know what kind of Doujinshi this is. You might not even be aware there are kinds of Doujinshi. But what you might know is the artist behind this, Asanagi, who is very committed, as in they like to commit what I like to call hyper-misogyny. I don't really want to explain further as it can be rather grotesque, and I'm not the right person for that. For reference, I find Guro to be really funny most of the time, which at bare minimum isn't what Asanagi does. I don't think they ever go that far. Maybe some amputee stuff. At this point you must be asking, does this succubus suck? Well, it certainly looks great. In concept, we'll get back to that. I want to talk about Asanagi's art style, because the thickness of these girls is obscene. But in a good way. Asanagi designs all their characters like they're goddesses of fertility, and it's great. Some people say all of Asanagi's designs look the same, which yes, but actually no. There is variation in the way the faces are designed. The problem being that their style is so distinct that you notice their style over any small design variations. Which in my eyes is just Asanagi suffering from success. This figure does successfully adapt to Asanagi's original design work, just not without some issues. This head sculpt, though, is great. It captures the level of smugness that most Asanagi characters have. At first. And you'd better enjoy this face because every other one is fucked. You know what else is fucked? This lower body garment should work, but it doesn't look like it's tight enough, that there's an illusion of continuity. Rip illusion. I wish this looked more pressed into the skin, instead of just being at the edge of this cut, but I guess that might cause some paint chipping. I also wish that there was less cuts and seams in general, or if they were at least better hidden, like the neck articulation, because otherwise, she looks a bit stitched together, like some kind of Frankenstein's monster. It does bother me, but the charm of Asanagi's designs do manage to shine through. Speaking of articulation, range is good. You even get some rare points of articulation, like at the neck and the belly. But the reason you tend to not get these is that they look kind of weird. Range is also limited by her fat fucking titties. What about feel? I feel pretty okay, because actually handling this feels much better than the previous hentai action figures. Those are really hollow and weird feeling. This, much like Lisabeth herself, is nice and thick. Unfortunately, her wings and tail fall off all the fucking time. But otherwise she's very solid. Anyway. They get what this figure is fucking about. So the other two faces you get are both ahegaos. What they don't get is a satisfactory amount of hands. Surely, and not to mention what I paid for it. But at this price point you could include more than a pair of fists and double V's. I could have gotten actual fisting for what I paid for this.
Fisting is $300.
Suction!
Is it still cast off if you're replacing most of the figure with a separate part? Apparently yes. I don't have any goblins. The only small green thing I have is my favorite Chaos Space Marine, Azrael, the Supreme Grand Master of the Dark Angel Space Marine chapter. Get in there. You know what else got fucked? My box. Oh, and you get a stand. because the figure can't stand on its own. As per usual, this is due to her fat fucking titties. You know what else is big? Guts and guts. Oh, for future Gokin here, and it's time for Gokin Impressions. Today we're looking at the CCS Toys Fig Script Nagata Ryoma. Ryoma is my favorite mecha pilot. Why? Well, he's part of a team of guys who are fucking crazy. Hayato, for example, is a psychopath and a terrorist. One of the first things you see him do in the manga is rip a teenager's face off with his bare hands. And yet somehow, through later adaptations, Ryoma ends up the crazier one. I could go on, but that would be spoilers. And I recommend watching Get a Robo. I really recommend reading Get a Robo. Besides, it's pretty rare that we get figures of mecha pilots, unless it's Gundam, since Bandai needs to milk that for all it's worth. Which is a bit weird because they all have kind of boring designs. Ryoma on the other hand looks fucking amazing. Ryoma doesn't even wear this in the manga, at least not quite. It's a testament to how raw and awesome this design is, that whenever you think of Ryoma, you think of this design. It's also a testament to how much all of you are posers and fake fans who've only ever seen Get a Robo Armageddon. So what are my impressions of this anyway? They're good. You might be surprised by that, or you're going to be, as I'm about to bring up a lot of problems. Not yet though, because compared to the 4-inch Nell, which I have, this is awesome. I do prefer how the clothes are painted in a way that mimics the style of the anime, but the actual sculpt and size leaves a lot to be desired. I'm not the biggest fan of cloth clothes, as sculpted clothes will always be more accurate, and cloth clothes tend to either look like they don't fit well or get in the way of articulation. Neither which is the case here. It's definitely not accurate how he looks in the show, but it doesn't look bad at all. There is a problem. His pants don't have a zipper, so his dick is just hanging out there. Which I guess you're gonna have to apply the sticky stuff to his crotch yourself. You can newt him up if you want to, which I don't. Normally I would, but he doesn't have nice sculpted in ass cheeks for me to enjoy. He's got sort of an ass there, but it's not good. My biggest complaint is that the faces could be better. I've seen some custom work that makes the faces look more anime accurate, and yeah, these definitely look better. Actually, these make the ones you do get look like shit. It also shows how weird the pupil placement is. These just don't look right. What is right at the articulation range, except for his feet. No toe bend, and foot articulation is limited, which I guess is fine since he can't really stand on his own anyway. More on that later. Anyway. Replacing his faceplates is kinda spooky. I almost shit myself. It's like they're Gurren Lagann all over. Again, the faces are kinda weird. You get 6 hands, 2 to hold guns. I wish this came with his shotgun, which he just gave to Musashi, but his pistol is good. So is the revolver Shikishima gives him. Although the bullet effect is wrong. It's supposed to shoot 3 consecutive shots. Also, this only works for the revolver. These look weird, but they're for when he pilots the getter, so I guess they're fine. His grenade launcher, which only shows up for like 30 seconds, can launch grenades from it. You get more grenades than I feel like you'd want. Like 6 of them? Really? He can only hold 2. His watch for when he talks to Benkei about what the fuck is going on in this plot is cool, I guess. I wish I understood what was going on. He can't stand without a stand, as his feet aren't flat, so it's good that you get one. You can even plug him into the stand like a McFarlane figure, which I guess is good if you want to display him just standing there. Guts and guts. Really hoping they make Hayato, and I do recommend this figure. So you can get one at Gundamit and Showzstore. Link in the description. Don't forget to use code GOKIN. Or else. Those are my Gokin impressions. Make of it what you will. Oh, I'm fucking coming to a conclusion. Which is that this isn't really worth the price. It's definitely not worth what it goes for now. But if you like how it looks and somehow can stomach the price, I guess I'm able to recommend it. That's about it, thank you to the patrons. Although as you can see pretty plainly, one of them is stupid as fuck. Of course, thank you to Robouken for their recording contributions, and I'll see y'all next time.